If this message found you, there's a truth somebody has been fighting within themselves about, and I don't think they're going to be able to keep it contained much longer. The Knight of Swords here is up first, and this is somebody who has something they really want to say. There's urgency behind this energy. They may have rehearsed the conversation in their head 100 times, thought about reaching out, thought about finally clearing the air, but then we have the King of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. And that tells me that their confidence may not be matching what's actually happening internally. On the outside, they may look completely in control, unbothered, certain of themselves. Meanwhile, internally, they're going back and forth. Should I say something? Should I leave it alone? Should I make a move? Maybe I should wait. Baby, pick a lane. Because then the Lovers come out. And now we know why this decision carries so much weight. For some of you, there is absolutely a romantic connection attached to this. But the Lovers is also about choice. And somebody has been faced with a choice concerning a connection that means more to them than they've been willing to admit. Because sitting right beside the Lovers is the Four of Pentacles. They're holding on, while at the same time holding back. And those are two completely different animals. This can be somebody protecting their feelings, protecting their pride, or trying desperately to maintain control. They don't want to reveal how much something or someone actually matters to them. And then we get the Page of Wands. There's that urge to communicate again, to test the waters, send the message, start the conversation, maybe even flirt a little bit and see what happens. But then comes the Nine of Wands. And there's the hesitation. This person has their guard up. They may want to communicate. They may want communication, but they're cautious. They've either been hurt before, they're exhausted by what has already happened, or they're afraid of what opening the door could bring. And here's what stands out to me. They haven't walked away. The Nine of Wands is tired, but is still standing. Now we have somebody who is holding on to the connection with the Four of Pentacles, still curious about communication with the Page of Wands, but standing behind an emotional wall with the Nine of Wands. They want movement, but they also want protection. And you can't have complete vulnerability while keeping every defense mechanism firmly in place. But this is where the Oracle cards get interesting. We have the Seer here. The person receiving this message may already intuitively know what's going on. You felt something that hasn't necessarily been confirmed yet. You may have picked up on the energy before you ever heard the words. Then comes Raven, hidden knowledge, messages, revelation. Something beneath the surface making its way into the light. Raven says there's more to this situation than what has been openly revealed. But our final card here, Sea Turtle. And the Sea Turtle says, not so freaking fast. Because while that Knight of Swords came charging into this reading, ready to spill everything, Sea Turtle is apparently still making his way across the table. This truth has its own timing. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to force a conversation, and you certainly don't have to pull the truth out of somebody who isn't ready to speak it. Because when somebody works this hard to suppress, usually has a way of revealing itself eventually. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What if your intuition isn't asking you to do anything at all? What if it's simply preparing you for the moment when what you've already felt is finally confirmed? Because remember, you don't have to force the truth out of anyone. What's hidden eventually gets tired of hiding. And as always, believe, align, receive, stay mystic.